Welcome back to ZBTV and to another episode of Truckin It. This is actually the 200th episode, so keep watching to find out more about Memorial Day and what it means as a driver. But for those of y'all looking for rodeo content, check out Ropin' It, which will have a new episode tonight. This episode is brought to you by Trucker Zach's Fan Shop. Click the link in the description below for 10% off your order using the promo code ZACH10. Friends and followers, welcome back to Truckin' It and to the 200th episode. On this particular episode, I'll be talking about Memorial Day. We need to remember the fallen, and it's also the kickoff of road trip season. That's coming up right now. Okay, so on this episode of Truckin' It, we're going to talk about a few things to remind you of what Memorial Day really means. And this is the time where you need to remember the following groups of people who had never made it home. Number 1, soldiers who never made it home from battle. Number 2, truckers who never made it home after their delivery because of things like vehicle crashes caused by idiots. And number 3 is you also need to remember your family members who are graduating or are getting into new career paths, etc. And I want to talk about the first two groups first. Because for those of y'all who don't know what Memorial Day is, those first two groups of people, those who served in battle and those who serve, and ended up passing away while performing their duties, whether it be in the military or as a truck driver or as someone who's doing law enforcement or roadside assistance. Those people who died either in the course of battle or dealing with those who do, we need to remember those people today. Now, of particular concern is those who never got to take their uniforms off, whether it be military, law enforcement, or those doing roadside assistance. So, if you have a soldier, a trucker, a bus driver, or a tow truck operator, or a police officer, or a fireman, or emergency rescue person, EMS, or those who drive an ambulance, who never made it home, today is your holiday. And thank you for the service of your family member. Second, not only do we go into the reasons why we have Memorial Day, this is now the kickoff of summer driving season. And believe me, there's been quite a few delays over the past week. Especially with everyone and their dog trying to get out and get away and get out of this lockdown situation. Many people have been vaccinated. I've personally been vaccinated since April. And I would like to say to those of y'all who are beginning to embark on your journeys, please plan ahead. Because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on this week and throughout the rest of summer. Especially around the Memphis, Tennessee area where the big bridge is still closed. And they are doing repairs on it right now. Because this is one of those critical projects that cannot wait. Especially since the bridge itself was in danger of collapse. And inspectors caught it in time. So, now that that's talked about, what are some ways that y'all can remember those who have passed away or never made it home? The first thing is if you have any family members who did, you should go to a local cemetery where that family member is resting and lay some flowers, pray for your fellow family members. If you haven't been to church in a while, go next Sunday. Or if your church offers a weekday service, take advantage of that. Pray as a family. And then we can go on from there. For those of y'all embarking on road trips, especially with kids. Now, I did have one kid do the arm pump as I was leaving my swapping point the other night. And, of course, we all know what the trucker's response is supposed to be. He's supposed to blast the air horn, but in the case of a team environment, he might have to use the city horn or give a hand signal back. So please, just remember that not everybody who drives a truck is driving solo, and not everybody is allowed to use the air horn in that situation. So if you're not hearing an air horn from the driver may do another signal, like flashing the lights. Especially if you have a new Cascadia, you can just hit that button on the steering wheel and flash the lights and wave. If you have a different model of truck, there's some other options available to you, such as using your city horn or putting your lights on and off. Often that'll get their attention as well, even though most of them will just respond to the air horn and that's it. So be courteous, especially if you're in a team environment. Don't wake your co-driver over it, but do try to give some sort of signal back to the kid that's doing the arm pump, because they love the sound of the air horn. Now, here's another thing. For the kids in the back seat, teach them the license plate game and teach them the how to use a road atlas when they're young. Because that's one of the things that I was taught between all the bus journeys and the journeys by car that I did when I was a kid. With my mother, of course. So I was in the back seat. Of course, me and my sister would always be fighting over whose snack it is, etc. Who gets the Happy Meal toy. But one of the things that my mother had done during one of the road trips was she had bought me a little road atlas. Now, this was the kids' road atlas made by the Rand McNally Company. And, of course, everybody knows them these days. At least here in the United States, because they are the biggest publisher of maps. And a road atlas can sometimes be an even more valuable tool than a GPS. Especially when the satellites go down or when your cell phone loses reception and you need to know which road you're on and where you're at. I would strongly encourage you to get one for your kids. They're available cheaply at any travel center, many gas stations, and many, many retail stores. And that can actually teach y'all quite a bit before your kid gets behind the wheel of anything at all. Now, for those of y'all who have kids who are taking off for college, that is usually an emotional moment. And I've noticed that a lot of these kids going into college, as well as these young adults, they seriously have a bad texting habit. And they also have another habit where they don't move over when they see the disco lights. Remember how I was talking about how people have died alongside the road in addition to those who have died in battle? Not moving over is a huge cause of that. So I would strongly encourage you to teach your kids before they go on this long road trip to put their phones down, to enjoy the scenery, to pay attention to where they're going, and if they must use a phone, that a headset like this one is always a good idea if you don't have Bluetooth in your car. Because there's just a lot of incidents that are caused by drivers not paying attention. So, let's make your best trip your next trip. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. And if you're up north, you need to learn the difference between a cookout and barbecue. And there's a big difference between the two. Let's just say the barbecue actually takes a lot longer than a cookout involving roller wieners and hamburgers, because of the instruments and tools used. And if you do not understand this difference, please look it up. And enjoy your Memorial Day week, and enjoy the kickoff of summer driving season. Until next time, let's make your best trip your next trip. Keep learning, keep thinking, remember the fallen, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.